Hey guys, Jack here, and welcome back to another football day in review. Today was October 19th, 2019, and let's just say this video has taken me an abundance of time to make to gather all the stats for this video. I have 36 total games to summarize for you today, so we're just going to jump right into it, starting off with the Premier League. Obviously, I was always going to put this one first because not only am I a Premier League fan, it also has probably the most coverage on the whole planet. So, first game, Everton versus West Ham, in which Everton ran out 2-0 winners. Goals coming from Bernard and Gylfi Sigurdsson. Everton had 19 shots, with 10 of those being on target. And this was Everton's first Premier League win since September 1st. So hopefully they're hitting form now because they've not been that great so far. There are 30 total fouls with a combined 4 yellow cards. Next up was Bournemouth versus Norwich, in which they played out a very boring 0-0 draw. 21 combined shots, only 3 combined shots reaching the target. Norwich still sitting 19th, while Bournemouth are doing very well for themselves, sitting in 9th. This was the first draw between these two clubs since they first drew back in the 2014 English Championship, and look where they are now, both back in the Premier League. Though Norwich right now look like they're going to be going back down after just getting promoted. So after this game, it was another recently promoted side, Aston Villa, beating up Brighton and Hove Albion 2-1. Adam Webster opened the scoring in the 21st minute before Aaron Moy got himself sent off in the 35th minute, bringing Brighton down to 10 men. Jack Grealish equalized in the 47th minute in stoppage time of the first half, and then another stoppage time goal from Matt Target sent Aston Villa the fans absolutely into raptures and won them the game. There were 44 combined shots, 13 of those were on target. It was Aston Villa's third win in 6 games, and now Aston Villa almost in the top half of the table, sitting in 11th, while Brighton struggled down in 16th. After a rather good start to the season, they're starting to drop off a little bit, so worries for Graham Potter and his men. After that, it was probably going to have an equally good and bad, probably more bad, opposite reaction to this. I am a Chelsea fan, and I am happy to say that we did in fact win 1-0 today against Newcastle United. Marcos Alonso, not going to say anything about him, but he did score the goal, so I will give him credit for that. He sent us the game winner, so they did dominate with 71% possession. Newcastle had 5 shots, none of them reaching the target, while Chelsea had 11 corners, Newcastle had 0, so utter domination from Chelsea. However, we really just struggled putting the ball in the back of the net. So after that game, it was between Leicester and Burnley on the 1-year anniversary of Leicester's owner's death in that horrible helicopter crash right outside the stadium. But Leicester did manage to do justice by that with a 2-1 win over Burnley. Chris Wood opened the scoring in the 26th minute before Jamie Vardy scored in the 45th minute, and then substitute Yuri Tielemans put an absolute banger past Nick Pope to make it 2-1. Leicester had 19 shots, only 3 of them were on target, while Burnley had 13 shots, 4 of which were on target. Leicester's 4th win in 6 games, meaning they are up to 3rd, so they are high flying and may look to replicate the form that they had in their title winning season. However, don't really think they're going to be beating out Liverpool to the Premier League title, or Manchester City for that matter. That was only Burnley's 2nd loss in 6 games. They now sit in 8th position. So if you guys are seeing the pattern here, this is going to probably be an incredibly long video. I'm talking probably 20 plus minutes to get all these games in, to talk about all these. But next one, Spurs versus Watford in one of the more confusing games of the day. Abdoulaye Doucouré got the goal in the 6th minute before a 86th minute Dele Alli goal with a mix-up between Ben Foster and one of his defenders at the back. Saw Dele Alli slot into an empty net. However, when the goal was checked for, I don't know if it was offside or a foul in the play. I know they review all of them, but I wasn't sure what they were checking for. The board said no goal, while the referee pointed to the center spot and gave it as a goal, and obviously the goal stood. That was only Spurs' 2nd game that was not a loss in 6 games, the other one being a draw. 19 combined shots, 4 were on target, and Spurs dominated the possession with 70%, but yet again, not being clinical enough. And next game was another draw in which Wolves played Southampton to a 1-1 draw, in which I'm pretty sure Wolves, having 2 goals disallowed, probably should have won the game, to be honest. Danny Ings scored in the 53rd minute before Raul Jimenez finally got his goal in the game in the 61st minute off of a penalty. 18 total shots, 6 were on target, and there were 27 total fouls with 5 total yellows. Southampton now out of the relegation zone with that draw. And now it is the last Premier League game of the day. Crystal Palace took on Manchester City at home, where Manchester City ran away 2-0 winners. They did not want a repeat of last season, as Gabriel Jesus and David Silva got goals 2 minutes away from each other. City still 5 points behind Liverpool, and a possible 8 if Liverpool beat Manchester United tomorrow. City still dominated with 71% possession, however, 10 shots on target from 21 is one of the better percentages that I've seen today. That was City's 5th win in 6 games, so pretty good recent form from City. But now we move on to the Italian Serie A, in which the first game that I'm covering right here between Lazio and Atalanta was an absolute one that you did not want to miss. Atalanta were 3-0 up by the end of the first half with 2 goals from Luis Muriel and another goal from Alejandro Gomez before Lazio finally got it going in the 69th minute with the Immobile penalty. Joaquin Correa got another goal just a minute later, and then Immobile in the 92nd minute of added time got another penalty and converted that to tie the game up at 3-3. So a wonderful comeback from Lazio against Atalanta. 39 combined shots, only 14 finding the target. Both teams have only had 1 loss in their last 6 games, so pretty good form from the both of them. And Atalanta now set in 3rd, while Lazio in the Europa League spots in 6th. Next up was Napoli taking on Hellas Verona at home, which they did run away 2-0 winners thanks to an Eric Milik brace. Napoli now in 4th, Hellas Verona mid-table in 13th. 41 combined shots, however only 11 reached the target. Not one of the best percentages I've seen. And then there were 28 total fouls with 6 yellow cards. Next game up was Juventus against Bologna, in which Juventus ran out 2-1 winners. One of the greatest players ever to play the game got off in the 19th minute. Cristiano Ronaldo got his goal. Danilo equalized in the 26th before Miriam Pjanic got a goal in the 54th minute. Juventus dominated the whole game, 65% possession, 23 shots with 10 of them being on target. Juventus in first by 4 points until Inter play, in which case Inter win, they will be down. They will be only up by 1. Bologna down in 12th position, so again another mid-table team, and there are 33 total fouls with 5 total yellow cards. After the Italian Serie A, we move on to La Liga. Barcelona, the first match that I'm going to be covering for this La Liga segment, they beat out Eibar 3-0 away. Griezmann, Messi, and Suarez scored all together in the same game for the first time ever. So 13th minute from Griezmann, 58th from Messi, and 66th minute from Luis Suarez, who has now moved into the 4th joint highest scorer in all of Barcelona's history. Barcelona had 56% possession with 9 shots, 4 on target. So there were 16 fouls from Eibar, 30 total. So very foul committing game from Eibar, playing quite dirty, with all 5 yellow cards also going to Eibar. Barcelona now top on goal difference ahead of Real Madrid, with Eibar down in 15th, closer to the relegation zone. Atletico Madrid took on Valencia, probably the best team outside of Atletico, Barcelona, and Real Madrid in Spain is Valencia. Either that or probably Sevilla. Always different each season, obviously, but the game got its goals underway in the 36th minute with a penalty from Diego Costa. Daniel Parejo equalized in the 86th minute to tie the game, and then Kangin Lee, the young South Korean player, got himself sent off in the 91st minute. Not really too sure what that was about, but Valencia had 56% of the possession, only managing 3 shots on target from 11 total. Atletico had 15 shots, only 4 of those being on target, and Atletico extend their unbeaten run to at least 6 games now, so they're also going on quite a good run. Next game was Getafe versus Leganes, in which Getafe ran out 2-0 winners. A brace from Angel were the 2 goals in the game. Getafe now sit 6th, and Leganes are in bottom of the table, rooted to the bottom of the table. So once again, they're going to be fighting out in a relegation scrap, kind of like last year. 36 total fouls, 5 yellow cards combined, 12 combined shots, only 5 of them being on target. And then one of the upsets of the day, although it's starting to become less and less of a surprise, Mallorca beating Real Madrid 1-0. Although it's very debatable whether this shouldn't have been a surprise, because Mallorca, I mean, come on, they're such a small team, beating Real Madrid, who may be Ronaldo-less, but I mean, come on, Real Madrid, you gotta be getting it together. I know Real Madrid, I know you guys are struggling without probably tied for the greatest player ever to play the game, but come on, guys. Lago Jr. got the goals, got the only goal of the game in the 7th minute. Odriozola got himself sent off in the 74th minute, just as a little bit of a misery compiler. Mallorca sit in 14th. Now Real Madrid are in 2nd on goal difference. Obviously, Barcelona now on top. 34 total fouls. There are 2 yellows against Mallorca, 1 red against Real Madrid, so a bit of a dirty game. Sergio Ramos had a little bit to do with that. Mallorca had 1 shot on target from 5 shots, but that shot managed to go in, so good for them. Now moving on to the Bundesliga. First game in the Bundesliga coverage was a 2-2 draw between Augsburg and FC Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich kind of struggling in the league this season, although we did see that in the beginning of last season, and they did manage to win the league over Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund also a little bit struggling here in the beginning. Marco Richter got the goals kicked off in the very first minute of play. Robert Lewandowski equalized 14th minute. Serge Gnabry continues his great goal scoring form, scoring in the 49th minute. And then in the 91st minute, heartbreak as Alfred Finnbogason, the Icelandic international, netted in stoppage time to give the draw to Augsburg. So Augsburg struggling for form this season, however, in 15th. Bayern sit 3rd. Bayern had 79% of the possession with 24 shots not on target, so utter domination from Bayern. But both teams had 3 yellow cards on 18 combined fouls, so a little bit of an interesting fact there. Fortunately, Bayern just were not clinical enough on the day. Next game up, newly promoted Union Berlin, their first ever season in the Bundesliga, not off to a bad start, or a bad few games, should I say, as they get a 2-0 win over Freiburg. Goals came from Marius Wolter and Marcus Ingvartsen. Freiburg had 61% of the possession, only 12 shots with 4 of those being on target. So Freiburg were more advantageous in the game, however, they could not use those advantages to their advantage. 34 total fouls, 3 yellow cards, all going against Union Berlin. And Union Berlin's at 14th with Freiburg in 7th, so a little bit of a blip for Freiburg, but they will recover from that, I'm sure. Next up was Fortuna Dusseldorf versus Mainz. Fortuna Dusseldorf did run out 1-0 winners. Edmilson Fernandez got himself sent off in the first minute of added time in the first half. Rowan Hennings got the goal in the 82nd minute to win the game for Dusseldorf. There are 20 shots with 4 on target for Fortuna Dusseldorf. They also sit in 13th while Mainz are in 16th, so they are in the ever elusive relegation playoff position. There are 29 total fouls, 2 yellow cards for either team. Another game in the Bundesliga was Red Bull Leipzig versus Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg, who are finally, after a few years, they're getting back to their real best, I would say. After struggling for the past few seasons, they seem to be getting better as they do sit 2nd in the table. But the goals came from Timo Werner and Wout Weghorst. Leipzig had 57% of the possession with 5 shots on target for 15 shots. Only a third of those obviously being on target. Wolfsburg, as I said, sit 2nd. Leipzig sit 5th. And Wolfsburg continue their great unbeaten run with their 3rd draw in 6 games, those other 3 obviously being victories. And another game, Werder Bremen versus Hertha Berlin, which ended in a 1-1 draw. Josh Sargent, the American, young American prospect, might I add, got the goals going in the 7th minute before Dodi Luca Bacchio, another young prospect, got the equalizer in the 70th minute for Hertha Berlin. Bremen had 53% possession with 5 shots on target from 16 attempts. Berlin restricted to just 12 shots with 2 of those being on target. And Bremen sit 11th, Hertha in 10th, so fairly mid-table for both of those sides. And the last game of the Bundesliga was Borussia Dortmund versus Borussia Mönchengladbach, in which Dortmund ran out 1-0 winners over top of the table Mönchengladbach. Only goal coming from the Dortmund golden boy Marco Reus. There were 30 combined shots with only 10 of them being on target, so again a third shot going on target. 29 fouls with 3 yellow cards. Dortmund in 4th, while Mönchengladbach sit top. Now moving on to Ligue 1, back to the Frenchies yet again. Lyon and Dijon also kicked us off with a draw, 0-0 draw, no goals. However, the hero of the game was Lyon's goalkeeper Alfred Gomis, who had 10 saves. Lyon dominated 65% of the possession, and Lyon now in 16th, while Dijon are bottom. So both these teams really struggling. Lyon a little bit more of a surprise though, as I expect them to be at least qualifying for Europa League football each season, but I'm sure they'll find their form eventually. Hopefully it's not like a Monaco, as we've seen in last season. Next game was Angers versus Stade Brestois, in which Brest ran out 1-0 winners. Only goal was an Irvin Cardona goal in the 67th minute. Angers put 6 shots on target from 29 attempts. Brest had 1 shot on target from 6 attempts, but that shot did manage to go in, and that's what counts. Angers with a little blip again. They sit in 4th, Brest are in 8th. And the game after that was FC Metz against FC Nantes, which I didn't actually know got a new club crest. Didn't know about that, but Metz, regardless, 1-0 winners. Malavage got himself sent off in the 62nd minute, and then Habib Diallo got the goal for Metz in the 86th minute, which pushed them on to win the game. 19 combined shots, only 4 of those being on target. Again, not great percentages. 29 total fouls, 3 total yellows. Nantes' second loss in 6 games. Others were all wins, so it's a little bit of a strange blip for them as well. They will recover from this, obviously, as they've already been on fairly good form. Next up was Nimes versus Amiens, in which it ended in a 1-1 draw. Pablo Martinez got the goals going in the 41st minute before a stoppage time. 5 minutes into stoppage time, Arturo Calabresi got the goal to equalize, and that must suck. Really heartbreaking, but regardless, Amiens, ignore the typo there, just notice that now. Amiens had 63% of the possession with 13 shots, 5 reaching the target. Nimes sits 17th, Amiens in 12th, and this was Amiens' 3rd draw in 6 games. Next up is Stade de Reims against Montpellier, in which Reims ran out 1-0 winners at home. Only goal was in the 2nd minute by Younes Abdelhamid. Montpellier had 57% possession but had no shots on target from 9 attempts, so horrible striking from Montpellier. 30 total fouls, 2 yellow cards, both going to Reims. Reims sitting high-flying 3rd, Montpellier also in a respectable 7th position. Next game up was Toulouse versus Lille, in which Toulouse beat Lille 2-1 at home. Yaya Sanogo, if you remember him, he used to play for Arsenal, was fairly garbage. Got the goal scoring in the first 58th minute, and then in the 66th minute, Max Gradel got a penalty and converted that. And then Jose Fonte, former West Ham player, also former Chinese league player, got a goal in the 93rd minute, but it turned out to be nothing more than consolation, as Toulouse still won the game. Lille had 60% of the possession, only managing 2 shots on target from 9 attempts, so again, not very good shooting. I know not all shots go on target, but like, that's how you win games. You just be clinical, and a lot of these teams, that's what they struggle at, being clinical. 26 fouls, 6 yellow cards. Lille sit 6th. Toulouse sit a little bit bottom to mid-table in 13th. And after that, this is where I kind of moved on to selecting the bigger games, not the bigger games out of the remaining leagues. So you're gonna see probably for a few of these only one game out of a certain league, as if I put all these, first of all, there wasn't that many stats for most of these games. You're going to see I was kind of scrambling for information here, but also it would have prolonged this video to probably 45 minutes long, and I know nobody wants to watch a 45-minute long summary of all of today's games. This video is already running long as it is, so let's keep going. RKC Valvik lost to Ajax 2-1 at home. Dusan Tadic got the goals in the 46th minute before Saeed Bakari equalized in the 63rd. However, Quincy Promes got the second goal for Ajax in the 76th minute. Ajax topped by 3 points. RKC Valvik bottom with just 1 point, newly promoted, I'm aware, but like, that is really pushing the newly promoted not being a very good team for the top flight aspect. Valvik continue horrendous form, having negative 22 goal difference, so all around they just got to get it together. Next game in the Eredivisie, Herenveen beat AZ Alkmaar 4-2. Sven Botman, Ron Vlaar, if you remember him, he used to play for Aston Villa as a center back a few years ago. Rodney Congolo, Jens Odgaard, Kelvin Stangs, and then a Tune Coop Miners own goal in the 63rd minute. Were all the goals in the game. AZ in 4th, Herenveen in 6th. That was AZ's first loss in 6 games, so another team, another bigger team having a little bit of a blip, and that was Herenveen's second loss in 6 games. So actually, that is a not correct stat, might I add, that they actually won the game. So don't know why I put that in there, but I'm pretty sure that is either meant to be win or it's right, and I just didn't include the other games in. Regardless, ignore that, that is a mistake on my behalf. Now, final game from the Dutch Eredivisie. Utrecht beat PSV 3-0, another little bit of a blip for a bigger team, although both of these teams are fairly big Dutch teams. Sander van der Streek got the goals going in the 49th minute. Nick Viergever and Jorrit Hendricks both got red cards, which really just sent it PSV in the chaos. Adam Maher and Sean Kleiber got the other 2 goals. Utrecht now sit in 5th. PSV still in 2nd, so just a little bit of a setback, but they'll be fine. Utrecht's 3rd win in 6 games. PSV's first loss in 6 games, so like I said, just a blip. They will recover. They have an incredible amount of talent, especially their front line, so actually, I kind of recommend watching them as they're fairly exciting. But moving on from that, this is where the pronunciation is going to get really bad, guys. I apologize for this. Antalyaspor, probably got that one right. This one, though, probably not. Genklerbergli. Genklerberligi? Genkler. I'm going to call him Genkler for now. 6-0 win. Huge win. Absolutely ginormous win. It is not the first time this episode you're going to see 6 goals in a game, though, as I'm pretty sure that happens 2 more times, if I can remember correctly. Kandayas got a brace. Giovanni Sio also got a brace. Bahadir Öztürk got himself sent off in the 23rd minute. And then Bogdan Stancu also got a goal in the 57th minute. So Genkler sitting 17th, so it was really strange to see them win by such a margin. Didn't even get the red card until the 23rd minute. It's already 2-1, so kind of strange that they would, or 3-0, excuse me, not 2-1, 3-0. It was kind of strange that they would actually go on to only start collapsing, or collapse even more after that, as they were already collapsing before. So I guess that red card was just adding insult to injury. That was Genkler's first win in 6 games. The last 4 meetings between these teams are 2 draws and 2 wins for Antalyaspor, which is why this game is so uncharacteristic for Antalyaspor, as they've just been absolutely thumped. Next game from the Turkish Super League, another higher scoring one, this time only 5 goals in the game though. Trabzonspor, not too sure what this team is. I'm pretty sure it's another Genk team, but it was 4-1. Looking back at my notes, it was Gaziantep. So, never really heard of them before, but regardless, they did lose to Trabzonspor. Daniel Sturridge, you guys remember Daniel Sturridge? Yeah, he got a goal. So was Alexander Sorloth, who I did not know went on loan to Trabzonspor. Jefferson got a goal, Jose Sosa, Yusuf Sari, and then a red card for Coyote in the 84th minute. Coyote, animal. A little bit of an animal getting a red card, but crappy joke. Moving on, Trabzonspor set first. Gaziantep down in 8th. Trabzonspor's 3rd win in 6 games, and this is only Gaziantep's 2nd loss in 6 games. So, good form, somewhat, for both of these teams. However, Trabzonspor need to get a few more wins under the belt if they're going to be actually winning this league title. And the last match of the Turkish Super League, which was a draw between Ankara and Beşiktaş. Ankaragücü is the full name of the team, however, I just pronounced it wrong probably. Only event during the game was a Sedat Agke red card. So Anka sit 13th, Beşiktaş in 12th, so again mid-table to lower mid-table. Beşiktaş 1-3, 2 draws, 1 win for Anka in the last 6 meetings between these 2 teams. Beşiktaş 2nd draw in 6 games, while the others were 3 losses and a win. So, okay form, or no, actually, you know what, no, that's pretty bad form from Beşiktaş. Gotta pick it up, because they're usually one of the better teams in the Turkish league, and again, this is one of the games where I chose as a standout game from the league, as it was either a big team, thrashing a small team like this, or it was just an entertaining game that I thought would be an entertaining game. So this was a 6-1 thumping of Rostov by Zenit, in which, as you can see all the goals here, a hat trick from Artem Zubia, Sardar Azmoun also got on, Karavev also got on, Roman Eremenko got the only goal for Rostov in the 83rd minute off a pen, and Wilmar Barrios also added on insult to injury in the 92nd minute. So Zenit now top the league on goal difference. Rostov sit in 4th, so it's uncharacteristic that this game would go as far as it did down the rabbit hole. Rostov actually won the last game against Zenit 1-0, which begs the question, how did they get beat so badly? There was not even a red card. How did they just played awful? Alright guys, just 2 games left. Chinese Super League standout game of the day was between Beijing Guan and Shanghai SIPG FC, which SIPG ran out 2-0 winners. Li Shenglong and Ahmedov Afil got the goals. 18 combined shots, 5 of those which were on target. SIPG in 2nd, Sonobo in 3rd. SIPG have now won 5 of the last 6 games between these 2 teams, so utter domination in terms of the matches between these 2 teams. And now we're going to be moving on to our last game of the day in the Scottish Premiership. It's another game that I picked out of the league because of the domination of one team, which Celtic beat Ross County 6-0. So we saw the score 3 times today. Alionusi got a brace, Odson Edward, Callum McGregor, Liam Fontaine scored an own goal. That's a bit of a misery compiler, and James Forrest all got the goals. And that was Celtic's. They were top, or will be, or top right now until Rangers play. Ross County sitting in 6th, and Celtic have won 4 out of the last 6 games, so pretty good form from Celtic. But yeah, guys, that is going to finish up the news for today from October 19th, 2019. Those were 36 matches that I spent a really long time on, so I would kind of appreciate it if you did leave a like on this video. However, if you don't like it, that's fine, completely understand. But yeah, like I said, if you did enjoy it, leave a like. If you are new or you just like the content I'm making, make sure you do subscribe. And yeah, I've been Jack. See you guys tomorrow for October 20th.